What's going on, guys? It's Cheyenne here, and I'm stuck behind a semi that's making a delivery. And there's an idea that I've really been trying to kind of hammer down. So I'm going to give it a shot. And that idea is what I'm calling pursuing emotions. So this is a kind of a spin-off from something I heard from somebody. And then I kind of cultivated it into my own little kind of a thingy. So pursuing emotions, when you spend a lot of the time being quiet and being alone, you spend a lot of time in certain emotional states, and you get really tired of being in very heightened emotional states, and it's very taxing on you or on me, on my mind, on my life, and it makes it very hard to operate in this modern world when I'm spending a lot of my time in the emotional states that don't feel good. So I kind of came to the conclusion that life is simply a continuous experience of emotional states or emotions. So you could be happy or sad, overjoyed, very depressed. Now the words don't really suffice to explain the feeling, because what we're talking about is not a word really, it's more of a feeling. So if we get too hung up on the word, then we can't really identify it within ourselves, because it's not a word that we're looking for, it's a feeling. So when I came to the conclusion that my life is simply a continuous experience of emotions, I then asked myself, I said, how can I set my life up to be able to, what I call, harvest, because I like to do a lot of stuff in the garden, so I use a lot of the terminology from my experiences. So how do we harvest the emotions that I really truly want to harvest, and spend a smaller and smaller amount of time in the emotions that don't make me feel good, don't help me to accomplish anything, just kind of turn me into a little pruned up version of a boy, or how can I cultivate the emotions that put me in the states that I like to be in, and that's passion, I like joy, I like gratitude, I like peacefulness. So now, and that's just like a short list of them, but for the purposes of explanation, now that I have a target for the emotional states that I would like to spend the most amount of time in, how can I set up my life to gamify it so that I almost don't even have to think about it anymore, and I'm kind of automatically, it takes time and it takes practice and all kinds of patience and all that good stuff. But how do I set it up to be in my favor instead of doing the opposite and setting myself up for failure? So how do you do that? Well, for me, you have to do an audit of your time and your life. It's called No Stone Unturned. And what I mean by no stone unturned is literally what you do every single day. So from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, the actions you do, so literally what you do. And this is a really easy one because a lot of us have experienced this before, and this is just really easy. So you wake up first thing in the morning and you go straight to your iPhone, and you almost are doing it, and I'm speaking from experience, like I'm almost just automatically, straight to iPhone, pop it open, email, check. Well, after paying a little bit of attention, and you do that for like a couple times, you don't really feel so good per se. It's not like you feel horrible, but it did not help me to put me in a state that I am really pumped about it. Like, it either stayed the same or it provided me an emotional state that I don't like, essentially. Versus if I have a little bit of a slower morning, I go straight to the garden and I just inhale. I do a couple hangs because I like to kind of hang from the bar or whatever, do little pull-ups, do some push-ups, just kind of enjoy the nature first thing, just straight into the garden, in the garden. And then I start to pay attention, and whenever I start my mornings in the garden, the voice in my head is much quieter. I'm in a much peaceful state, and suddenly I'm cultivating the emotions that I really enjoy to spend as much time as possible in: joy, peace, love, patience, all that good. Just it's not a feeling of pridefulness, it's just a feeling of you know you are in the right spot at the right time, and you're doing the right thing, and you have conscious congruency. At least for me, I always wanted to just stay in a peaceful, calm state of mind, but I did not have a choice, because first thing in the morning I would wake up in a panic attack for many years, and I did not have the awareness to even understand what was going on. But it's you get really tired of that after 10 or 15 years, and then you just kind of flop over and you say, we need to just kind of pursue the emotions that are providing peace and joy and all that kind of good stuff. So that is my video on how to cultivate emotions that you enjoy living in. Have a good one, guys. Peace, and never give up. Later. Peace.